You know, as I look out across this audience, I'm afraid that some of you didn't get the dress code. I'm looking around, I'm rather confused, but you know, on a serious note, there is a reason that all kinds of comments have been said to me, right? So you are hee-haw approved. You look like you just walked in from the barnyard, which does happen some days in my office. But as we were thinking about this banquet and all of my staff was talking about how they were going to pick out their beautiful dresses, it occurred to me that really as a Chamber of Commerce, we want to be known as a working organization. And as I thought about that, I thought about the guy who had some of the greatest impact on my life, and that was my grandfather. And every day of his life, he tilled the soil and cared for God's creatures. And he was one of those guys, when he came and shook your hand, you knew that he worked. Right? You know what I'm talking about, that calloused hand that grabs you and it just engulfs you. But he wore key imperial overalls every day of his life. When he went to church, he put a tie on. When he rode a horse, he put boots on because he wasn't going to be walking fixing fence. And I have a great respect for those that do that throughout their lifetime. And I think about Cheyenne, and I think that's the kind of city we are, right? Not a lot has been just gifted to us from, you know, money and things that other huge cities have. But we have a special quality of over time. We have worked and we have toiled. And we have put our hand to the plow to drive our community into the future and make sure this is an excellent place to call home for us, our children, and for future generations. And I think there is a lot to be respected about that, and I am very proud of us for taking that tack as we move forward. Tonight, we're going to take a moment out from that toil and celebrate some of the people that have made that path possible. Some of those among us who every day go above and beyond for their fellow man, go above and beyond for their community. They do it in all kinds of different ways, and you're going to see that tonight. So we're so thankful that you have joined us for that. So please sit back, enjoy your drink, lean back in your chair, and join us as we celebrate some of the greatest things about. I see you over there trying to lean back. It's not leaning back that good. I get that. But I do think we can take a minute and just celebrate some of the greatest among us. And to do that, I would like to introduce the chairman of or chairwoman of your Chamber of Commerce, Paula Poitras. So please join me in welcoming her to begin the
Now we know why he has overalls on. Thank you so much, Dale. Good evening, as Dale said, I am Paula Poitras. I'm with First American Title. I'm also your chairman of the board for the Greater Cheyenne Chamber of Commerce. I am honored to welcome you to this year's annual awards celebration. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the people and places that make up our community. This year you will notice that we have a Wizard of Oz theme. Little did we know that our spring would be filled with tornado warnings and land spouts. I'm from Missouri, that happens all the time. Folks, we've traveled through many trials and tribulations to prove that home has been a great place all along, and find that our community did in fact have the heart, the courage, and the knowledge to make the world a better place. We need to realize that we do live in a wonderful place. In fact, Cheyenne is even known as the Magic City of the Plains. Perhaps most importantly, it is necessary for us to realize that we have a remarkable business community that makes Cheyenne's prosperity an actual reality. Tonight we'll recognize those among us who've demonstrated the courage of the lion, the heart of the Tin Man, and the brains and wisdom of the Scarecrow. These people unselfishly build the place we call home, Cheyenne. And in our pursuit of home, there's no one that defines this so much as Jim Casey. I'm so sad that Jim's not here. He loves snow, he's not here, but he does have a group of folks here, so we want to thank him. He is all about our community. He knows how important it is to plan for the future of Cheyenne. Thank you so much for your undying commitment to our chamber and our community. Halliday Motors has generously served as our presenting sponsor for a number of years, and we are so appreciative of their continued support of our Greater Cheyenne Chamber of Commerce. Jim and his team truly show us why there's no place like Cheyenne. Thank you, Halliday Motors. Please join me in expressing our appreciation with a round of applause. Just like our unlikely band of travelers in The Wizard of Oz, it takes teamwork to reach our goal. I would be remiss if I did not recognize some of our other partners that have made this celebration possible. At this time, I would like to recognize and thank our gold partners, Breeze Through Car Wash, Little America Hotel and Resort, and the Wyoming Tribune Eagle. Let's give them a little round of applause. Thank you. And now, thank you to our silver partners, A&B Bank, Appaloosa Broadcasting, Beach Police Drink Company, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Wyoming, Cheyenne Regional Medical Center, Pinnacle Bank, Remax Capital Properties, and Town Square Media. And finally, a special thanks to the staff here at the Civic Center, Vintage's Handcrafted Wine, Chronicles Distilling, the catering crew at Laramie County Community College, yes, nice job, and all the others that have worked diligently to make this an event a success. You are all our very own Glinda the Good Witch of the West, guiding us on our way through the land of Oz. Thank you again. So before we do begin the awards, I do want to take a moment to thank you, all of you. Thank you everyone for believing in us and for believing in our community. We're able to do what we do because of all of you. Tonight would not be possible without your faith in us, and the awards of this evening are a reflection of the immense work that our business community puts in every day to make Cheyenne a fabulous place to live, work, and do business. Give yourself a round of applause. As a chamber, it takes many to achieve the accomplishments that help us move forward. Thankfully, we are a community built on the shoulders of our people who put their hand to the plow for future generations. Tonight, we pause for just a moment to recognize a small portion of the work that has been accomplished in the past year. Nominations for most of the chamber awards were submitted by our members. Then the Chamber's Business Council and Board of Directors selected finalists to be recognized for each award. The number of people and organizations that were nominated was quite humbling, and each nominee should feel a sense of accomplishment that others have recognized their efforts. So let's begin our journey through the land of Oz this evening, and I want to first congratulate every business and individual who was nominated for an award. We thank you for your efforts in making sure that there's no place like Cheyenne. Folks, every single finalist for these awards is absolutely incredible. Each and every one of them has put in so much work on behalf of our community. These people and businesses are truly the best of us. They deserve recognition for all they do here in Cheyenne. So while we are only able to recognize a few during our program this evening, we'd still like to ask that all the finalists come to the stage after we take photos and celebrate the hard work and dedication that led them here tonight. So now it's time to begin the awards. You've all seen the movie and know that when the ruby slippers click 3 times, you say, "There's no place like home." Please now say it with me with a little bit of a Cheyenne twist. There's no place like Cheyenne.
Good evening. I'm Kaylee Garrett with Ryman Corp, and I serve on the Chamber Board. Tonight, I'm excited to share with you our initiatives that show why there's no place like Cheyenne. It's my pleasure to welcome you home, not to an unidealistic expectation of some land of Oz and the glittering green of the Emerald City, but rather to the place where we raise our children, support our neighbors, and find solace of community. The fairy tale of paradise is everywhere we look, But we know in our hearts that home is the most wonderful place of all. In the high desert, in the shadow of the Rocky Mountains, moisture and rainbows are often hard to come by. But working together, we can find progress and growth that launches us over the rainbow and beyond. After the tornado hurled Dorothy into the land of Oz, she said, "Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore." Our attitude towards community development is often like Dorothy's search for the Emerald City. We look across our border to the south, or at communities around the country, and we yearn for a building or a facility or a project. All the while, we're not realizing that often some of those same communities would relish what we have here in Cheyenne. That doesn't mean our work is accomplished. Quite the contrary, we have much left to do. But, like the characters of The Wizard of Oz, seeking courage, heart, and brains, we should pause and realize that it's what we do every day that builds what we desire. For community development, the journey is the success. For no matter how much we accomplish, there's still work to do. The understanding that our work must be unceasing is something your chamber believes in and must be committed to. Your chamber understands that it's not an event or a project or a moment in time that defines our community. Rather, it's a continuous, unyielding search for purposeful excellence that provides for a better Cheyenne tomorrow. Cheyenne, we don't need a wizard to make our dreams come true. We only need to work together, utilizing our heart, our courage, and our brain to make our dreams a reality. Your chamber is building a sense of community that increases our quality of life. That means we're working with our Military Affairs Committee to support those among us whose lives are dedicated to living with courage each day, our men and women in uniform. Our Leadership Cheyenne program works to build our hearts, to lift up our people, and our community development projects use the smartest among us, our brains, to build a quality community for the future. Your chamber is proud of our accomplishments, but this challenge is unceasing as generations advance and our leadership challenge of our community evolve. Tonight, it's my honor to announce some of the volunteers and organizations that embrace a servant leadership approach to their work and better our entire community because of their efforts. It might be said that nonprofits in our community are the community's heart. The Nonprofit of the Year Award recognizes excellence in our nonprofit community and is a job well done for those who truly make a difference. Will the nominees please stand as I call your name? The finalists for Nonprofit of the Year are Meals and Wheels of Cheyenne, Safe House Cheyenne, and Wyoming 211. And the winner is Safe House Cheyenne.
On behalf of Safe House and our board of directors, we thank you. This means really a lot to us because we work so hard in our community to kind of stay low key and we really don't want customers, but we appreciate this a lot. Thank you.
We're fortunate in Cheyenne to have so many businesses that take their community service to exemplary levels. The Community Service Award recognizes a business that takes the calling of community service to heart. The award is given to a business whose contributions in our community go above and beyond in their demonstration of care and concern for our people. Will the nominees please stand as I read your name? The finalists for Community Service Award are Jonah Bank of Wyoming, Beach Please Drink Company, and Blue Federal Credit Union. And the winner is not part of the stunt. That's not it. The winner is Beach Please Company. Wow, we're actually really surprised.
Thank you to the community. When we started this business, we started in November of 2020 during COVID. My husband and I had both lost our jobs, and we decided to not just sit back and do nothing in that time. We decided to create jobs. So we started Beach Please Drink Company, and we ended up with more space than what we thought we needed for what we do. So immediately we reached out, and our first drive actually was for Safe House Cheyenne, and we opened our doors to nonprofits. We have a drive going constantly. We collect items for nonprofits. We've taken things to Colorado when they had the fires, and our heart is for this community and not just for ourselves. And I think it's 100% true in business that when you love a community, they love you back. And so that's what we try to do at the beach. We try to love our community because they love us back. So thank you guys.
The Chamber Spirit Award recognizes a chamber member who genuinely embodies servant leadership. These nominees are highly engaged individuals who are active in the chamber and within the community. These finalists demonstrate leadership and are strong ambassadors for the business community. Will the nominees please stand as I read your names? And the nominees are Bailey Nowak and Tara Nelson. And the winner is Tara Nelson.
On this. Like, did you guys write something for us? So congratulations, Bailey. You're a big part of this community too. This is crazy. So it's easy to be nominated for Chamber Spirit when our chamber is so fantastic. So that's all our community is fantastic, our businesses, just everything. It signifies that my mission and my values and my beliefs align straight with you guys. I strive to be a role model, just especially for my daughter, showcasing the importance of making a difference and actively participating in building a strong and successful community for generations to come. So thank you very much.
So excited to bring everyone a new award this year. As a chamber, we like to pay special attention to our volunteers who donate time outside of their normal work and lives to our chamber mission. These people are always there when needed, and no task is too big or too small. This is the first year that we'd like to present our Chamber Heart Award, but it won't be the last. This year's recipient has filled our hearts every day with their dedication to our community. He spreads kindness wherever he goes and spends countless hours working on behalf of our community. His work with the Chamber of Commerce alone has been hugely impactful, as he's willing to get down and dirty in the name of a better future for Cheyenne. Anyone who's met him is well aware of his gracious attitude and willingness to help, even with the smallest part of the day. Between volunteering his time with your Cheyenne Chamber, Meals on Wheels, and Cheyenne Kiwanis Club, to name a few, he always shows up with a smile, a positive attitude, and a willingness to support our Cheyenne community. Without volunteers like him, we wouldn't be the organization we are today. Please help me in congratulating our first ever recipient of the Chamber Heart Award. The recipient is Bob Moen.
This is truly a surprise. It was good to know that I was the only one that could win. But, and thought it was up for a different award, but I guess I thought you forgot about me. Well, all I can say is I hadn't had anything planned because I didn't expect to win anything. So, but, I try to, been trying to help out when I can, and I had kind of a bad surprise come to my life 7 years ago that changed my life, and I'm able to do some things now that I couldn't do when working, but I'm not sure I deserve this because I go to these places, volunteers places, and there's all these other people working so hard and longer hours and things. And, sorry. So when I say I don't deserve it, I just think all these other people out there are doing so much more than I can. I'm kind of limited in what I can do. But I just want to thank you for thinking of me like this. Appreciate it.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tanya Keller, and I'm with Coldwell Banker, the Property Exchange, and I serve as the Vice Chair for Action Advocacy with our Chamber. Tonight, I'm excited to share with you our initiatives that show why there is no place like Cheyenne. Between the regulations and politicians who have joined the flying monkeys, there seems to be a castle run by a proverbial wicked witch at every turn. It takes brains, heart, and courage to operate in today's governmental environment. But no matter how many swarms of flying monkeys or legions of evil guards come our way, we are committed to standing in the gap for business and warding off any attempt to cause harm. That's what action and advocacy is all about for your Cheyenne Chamber. We're fighting for you at the local, state, and federal level because we believe there's no place like home. Wyoming deserves the best of us, and we've got the courage needed to handle lions, tigers, and bears. While the cowardly lion might have craved courage, our members and partners have no shortage of it. Courage looks different for each of us, but for your chamber, it must include influence. Influence is the cornerstone of our chamber mission. In addition to carrying the issues of our businesses in our region, your chamber's efforts have been recognized and requested by business organizations across the state and across our nation. We now represent the Wyoming Retail Association, and we manage a statewide coalition of chambers to achieve an exceptional business climate in our state. In fact, our business coalition has over 7,000 businesses under our tent, and we are the largest grassroots business voice in the state. We continue to implement our guiding principles every time we attend City Council, visit with our state leaders, or host our DC fly-in. We work with multiple states because our home includes an entire region, and we believe that we will prosper better together. Regardless of the task, from our federal lobbyist efforts to our statewide legislative grade card to our interactions with local officials, we create the laws and regulations that make our businesses more competitive. The Chamber of Commerce is proud to partner with many of our elected officials, but tonight it is with deep thanks that we recognize the Business Advocate of the Year. Our Business Advocate of the Year award recognizes an individual who has relentlessly advocating for our business community and the economic growth in our region. This award is selected by the board, and we are so honored to have last year's winner and longtime friend of the chamber here, Gunnar Mom. Gunnar, will you please join me on stage?
Thank you, Tanya, and thank you all for being here tonight. So if you know me, you know I like to give people a hard time, and my other elected officials are never beyond that reach, and so I often joke that county commissioners are the best elected officials because we actually get things done. But with that said, this year's Business Advocate is exemplary of business-friendly elected official. His efforts for the business community have made Wyoming a better place to live, work, and do business. In today's highly charged political environment, a level head and forward-thinking attitude are needed to move the needle of our business community. This individual has played a special role in our efforts to reduce healthcare costs and regulations and factual regulation in general. Perhaps this year's winner's most important work for the business has been in relation to the military. Working to sustain and grow our Guard presence has been a major goal of this individual. In 2023 alone, this individual worked on enlistment bonuses, tuition benefits, and healthcare benefits for men and women in uniform. Additionally, our winner has worked on issues related to enhanced use lease, jurisdictional alignment of FU Warren, spousal licensing, veteran licensing, and funding for projects important to Project Sentinel. Perhaps the most important issue that this individual has advocated for is Purple Star schools. Every year, the Pentagon does a report card on every base. This report is used as part of their basing criteria for projects that advance our military economy. One issue where we have fallen short is the treatment of military children in our school system. The Purple Star school legislation prepares a framework to fix this issue. This was a top priority for the Chamber in the past years, and it was a major victory to achieve this goal. Without this individual, this important milestone would not be a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in honoring my friend and your representative, Landon Brown, as this year's He even put on the tux so he could try and look better than me.
I am beyond humbled, so thank you. I'm a little frustrated that Gunnar had to be the one that presented this to me. You know, hearing all the work that I've carried through as far as legislation goes over the past 6-7 years, it's kind of amazing to actually hear the amount of work that has gone into that. You think about it year to year, and it's 1 or 2 bills here and there, but honestly, it's a passion of mine to continue to help the community that I grew up in. And being the son of a military veteran himself, and watching the Guard grow in efficiency and what they do for our community, it's only the thing that I can do to give back. And I feel like it's so insignificant compared to what they do. So I'm beyond humbled. Thank you so much. Had no idea that this was here. I'm not even here tonight on this. I'm here with my employer, Cheyenne Regional Medical Center. So thank you so much. I'm beyond humbled. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Bob Jensen. I'm the Wyoming Director of Government Affairs and Public Relations for Holland and Hart here in Cheyenne, and I serve on the Chamber Board as the Vice Chairman for Economic Development. Tonight, I'm excited to share with you our initiatives that show why there's no place like Cheyenne. Did you know that when The Wizard of Oz was made, it was actually considered a flop? It cost over $2.7 million back in 1939. That's about $60 million in today's dollars. And it didn't make any money for almost 20 years. However, now it is seen as one of the most successful and iconic movies of all time. Our work in economic development is much the same. It's a long-term, consistent commitment. Things like military projects or the Front Range Rail take years before they increase prosperity. Cheyenne, we should be proud that we have the insight and the courage to invest in these projects for ourselves and for the future of our families, our community, our region, and our state. If the Tin Man taught us anything, it would be the importance of caring for our friends. The fact of the matter is that it takes heart, to build a healthy economy. We care about the future of Cheyenne. Everyone in this room does. We care about the health of our businesses and success of our employees and the economy that connects us all. That's the heart, if I've ever seen it. The Chamber family believes that we must commit ourselves to economic development centered around the desire to help every business achieve their dreams and aspirations. That means we're fighting for the reform of regulatory hurdles that increase the cost of both housing and commercial developments. We're partnering to facilitate the development of keystone projects that enhance our economic development. We're obtaining data to drive decisions for economic growth. And we're aiding business startups and expansions of local companies. Our economic development strategy covers everything from the Sentinel missile program to housing, to healthcare, to childcare, transportation, and infrastructure. While we haven't fully achieved our goals yet, we are fortunate to have many businesses that exemplify the best of the American dream. And it's our pleasure to recognize some of the best in our business community tonight. So the Small Business Award exemplifies a business with a strong entrepreneurial spirit, which provides a unique culture for our community. These finalists must have fewer than 25 employees. Will the nominees please stand as I call your name? The finalists for the Small Business of the Year Award are Billy Jack's Pizza Pub, Breeze Through Car Wash, and Alexis Drake. And the winner is Breeze Through Car Wash.
Well, I'm sure everybody's thinking, they missed the memo on the dress code tonight. There was a constraint in the appearance policy in our employee handbook. This is the best we could do. I hope you can understand how that works since I've been in business. You know, the vision of our organization, we live and die by, hire and fire by, and it's real as real gets. To be an excellently run car wash company that prepares people for the future and provides for the community. We're so conscious of that. I'm so grateful to have this team, which is just a snippet of it, behind me, be part of that journey. And I know we've connected with many of you before, and we continue to look for other ways to support that. It feels like a moment to hear that come back to us. And I can't thank you enough, and I'm sure the team feels the same way. So much appreciated. Thank you very much.
I'm pretty sure that their vacuums are manufactured by a company in Sheridan, Wyoming. Great vacuums, best vacuums ever. Next, we have our Large Business of the Year Award. The Large Business Award is for businesses making a tremendous impact in the Cheyenne area. They offer specialized services and products and are engaged in the Cheyenne community. Finalists must have 26 or more employees. Will the finalists please stand when I call your name? Remax Capital Properties. I think they brought more than 26 people. Ryman Corp. Capital Roofing. And the winner is Ryman Corp.
Good evening, and thank you. And I just want to say thank you to, or congratulations to all the rest of the nominees. It's a great honor to be recognized by the community. And I'd just like to say all of us at Ryman Corp would like to thank all the our owners and our elected officials and the communities that have behind us in the last 75 years. We do really appreciate it. And in closing, I'd just like to say that we think we're just getting started, so thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alexis Garrett. I also go by Lexi. I just read my name, so that's pretty funny. I'm with Alexis Drake. I serve on the board as the Vice Chair for Talent Development. Tonight, I'm so excited to share with you our initiatives that show why there's no place like Cheyenne. One of my favorite characters in The Wizard of Oz was the Scarecrow. He certainly has a lesson for us in the modern world, where everyone gains a PhD on a topic with 5 minutes spent on Google. And we need to realize that sometimes a consultant can be the dumbest smart guy we have ever met. Intellectual capital is about work. It's about being serious about knowing the math, having a good understanding of history, and committing ourselves to lifelong learning. But your chamber's education and talent development initiatives are about more than organizational knowledge and capacity. It is also about empowering our people, both young and old, to expand their minds and intellectual capacity. How do we do this? Maybe it's our intern-extern project, Venture, or maybe it's working with education at all levels through our North Star initiative. Ultimately, our education and talent development approach is about people. Our goal is to maximize the potential of our people, from the youngest citizen to our seniors. Maximizing people builds our community and creates a resilient future that can handle any challenge. Part of maximizing our people is about recognizing and preparing future leaders. That is why we recognize someone in the community who is emerging as part of our leadership matrix. Will the nominees for Emerging Leader Award please stand as I call your name? The finalists are Alex Freeman, Carrie Ward Farley, and Dallas Terrell. And our winner is Dallas Terrell.
Wow, I'm just getting over a cold, so I'll make it quick. I'm truly honored by the award, to tell you. We live in the greatest nation on earth. I'm so proud to be from Wyoming. Wyoming is so unique. We have brothers and sisters that help one another when there's time when they need help. And I think that's what makes this such a great community, and I never wanted to leave. I was born here, I was raised here, and I will die here. It is a great community, and I'm so proud to be a part of it. And when I look around this room here tonight, I can tell you, I'm overwhelmed. I know in my heart and in my soul, our best days are truly ahead of us. Thank you.
It is often said that our children are our most valuable commodity. Unfortunately, Cheyenne and Wyoming have historically either exported them to other states or let them slip through the cracks without the education or training that would have maximized their potential. The Chamber is not infrequently asked if our priority is tech training or advanced education. We believe the answer to this question should always be yes. Maximizing potential should be our goal for education and workforce development. Our effort is to inspire greatness, creativity, and ingenuity. The Student of the Year Award recognizes a student who exemplifies hard work and forward thinking. They have accomplished personal growth and positively impacted the Cheyenne community. Finalists must attend Laramie County School District Number 1 and Laramie County School District Number 2. Will the nominees please stand as I call your name? Caleb Amons. And Zoe Brown. Zoe Brown.
Hello. I would like to congratulate Caleb Amons. I'm sure you are great, and you should feel honored. I feel honored and so grateful to be here. My parents are like my biggest supporters, and my brother's here, so I'd like to thank them. And this past year, I've been National Honor Society president and worked with Zonta Club of Cheyenne. They're pretty fantastic people. The best place to be is in Cheyenne, and I am really sad to hear when young students want to leave, but I know that I will stay here for the rest of my life. So I just want to thank everybody so much for being here. You all look fantastic. Thank you.
Next, we have our Teacher of the Year Award. There is so much that the business community can do to support talent development. We can advocate, fund, and support. What we can't do is be the warrior on the front line. The educator that stands in the gap for our children is one of the last true heroes. It is our great honor to recognize the Chamber's Teacher of the Year. Will the nominees please stand as I call your name? Joe Allen. Nicole Hayes. And Kim Halverson. And the winner is Nicole Hayes.
Well, thank you. I didn't prepare nothing because I didn't expect this. But I just have to really thank my husband, who, does all the crazy things with me for my classroom, whether he wants to or not. I have the most amazing students in the world, and every day when I walk in, I just think about who's the kind of teacher that I want my daughter to have. And that's what I try to embody when I walk into my classroom every day. And Cheyenne is full of amazing teachers, and I get the pleasure to work with all of them, and we're a lot of them. And just the idea that the Chamber wants to recognize teachers and what we do, because right now education is not an easy world to be in. So something like this really means a lot, because the reason I am a teacher is my third grade teacher. So this goes to her, Mrs. Harris, as well. So
Good evening. My name is David Cook, and I'm with FNBO, a bank here in Cheyenne and 3-4 states near us. So I serve on the Chamber Board, and tonight I'm excited to share with you the initiatives that show why there's no place like Cheyenne. Dorothy always dreamed of a fantastical world that was just out of reach. And in the end, she found everything she was looking for right at home. Folks, if there are any better reason, a better lesson in today's age of greener grasses than to live and work right here in Cheyenne, Wyoming, tonight we've seen incredible individuals who exemplify community, economic, and talent development, as well as the advocacy we need to back it all up. Trust us when we say, there's no place like Cheyenne. We've all heard the song, and I'm not going to sing it. Somewhere over the rainbow, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Well, in Cheyenne, skies are blue, and the dreams we dare to dream really do come true. No matter what happens, whether it be a proverbial tornado, and the unsettled weather of economy, or natural disaster, or the flying monkeys of social upheaval, we know that in Cheyenne we have a business community that will be courageous to face the problem, heartfelt for our people in our solution, and intellectual in our approach to make sure our solution is sound. There's no place like Cheyenne, and I am grateful for the men and women who are committed to making it an even better place to live, work, and do business. Our Chamber mission is to make the greater Cheyenne area a more prosperous,
diverse and quality community. Tonight, I hope we have shown you a few of the ways we are doing exactly that. The hearts, minds, and courage of our chamber partners make Cheyenne a truly great home for us all. Before we get to our last few awards, I'm going to ask you to join me one more time. Ready? There's no place like Cheyenne. The number of folks that give their time and talent to the chamber is enviable. We want to recognize this extraordinary effort by our volunteers through recognition of our Committee of the Year. Although we recognized several individuals tonight, your Chamber of Commerce really plays a team sport. It is the culmination of commitment and talent from our members that creates success. Please join me in celebrating our winner of the Committee of the Year Award. I would ask the chair of the winning committee to please come forward and receive this award. And the winner is the Red Carpet Committee.
Thank you. So, clearly, no idea. I tried to get MJ up here with me, because MJ is a big part of our Red Carpet Committee. And for those of you who don't know, it's Mary Jane, and she would not come up, but for those of you who don't know, the Red Carpet Committee, we just are here to welcome you when you join the chamber, and it's just fun. So, thank you. I wish there was more people up here with me, because we're a good committee, but yeah, sorry.
As many of you well know, we held our triennial membership drive last December. If you were not able to attend, let me assure you, it was 3 days of nonstop dedication from some of our chamber's finest. However, of all volunteers, there was one that demonstrated exceptional passion and commitment. For those of you who helped with the membership drive, you understand what it means to be called Godfather and Godmother. Michelle Bolkovich, you are Godmother of this chamber. While I could introduce our Godmother, no one will do it as well as Mr. Jimmy Cusano.
Hey Michelle, this is Jimmy with your Chamber Connection. It's been a few months, or shall I say Godmother. Hey, just want to congratulate you for being the Godmother for that record-breaking membership event back in December, which is a vital role building our chamber. Thank you for your leadership, your enthusiasm, and more important, your commitment to that great community of Cheyenne. You are the Godmother in our hearts. We can't wait to work with you again. But bravissimo, we love you.
So you're not getting off that easy, Michelle. So you need to be making your way to the stage wherever you are. So while she's on her way, I'll just tell you a little bit about our triennial membership drive. So this company helps with membership drives all over the nation. A lot of times in communities a lot bigger than ours, right? We're with twice as many, 4 times as many, some of them 10 times as many. And when dealing with those communities, Cheyenne is one of a handful that have achieved the goal of being over $100,000. And we are very proud of that, and we are deeply grateful to all of you who have helped us achieve that goal. So, one of the things you have to do to be the Godfather is you wear the hat. And so for Godmother, we thought it was only appropriate in Cheyenne, Wyoming, that it should be a purple cowboy hat that lights up. So,
You surprised me, and
the hat should have been blue is all I can say. But I want to thank all of the community members that get behind our chamber, and every call I made, you guys were right there. I think of so many businesses, and I would not have done it without my team. I had the Ryman team on my team. Jack and Kaylee were right there behind me, so thank you. And I had some great blue employees behind me. But I want you all to know the chamber is an easy sell because we do the right thing. We advocate and we are the voice in DC. When all of us businesses are striving and working so hard, sometimes to survive, and a lot of times our community, we're thriving. But without our chamber, we would be nowhere. So I want to congratulate the chamber and all of their hard work and their voice that we have in DC that some of us forget. Without you, we are nothing. So congrats to the chamber. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dale and Michelle, for those words. Normally, we have last year's Person of the Year present this year's award. However, Mayor Patrick Collins is unable this evening to attend. But Linda Wepner, past chair, Chamber Board Chair, and Person of the Year 2019, is here to award this year's winner. Linda, will you please join me on the stage? Before she shares with us would any past winners of the Person of the Year that are present please join me here on the stage.
I told them to please put this in large print, but they didn't understand what large really was. So, because I have to have my assistance of my readers, I am very grateful for the opportunity tonight to be in this position. And I regret that Mayor Collins did not have the opportunity to be here, but I think it's kind of fun. We do have a script, and the chamber is very good about making sure that we stay on it. Unfortunately, I have not always followed directions, and so I know that I'm supposed to start out with saying hello. My name is Linda Wepner, and I'm the owner of Century 21 Bell. I can tell you that in reflecting back 4 years ago, this occasion, I can just assure you that this was one of the most humbling awards that I would have ever had in my business career or actually in any kind of notification of honor. So for that, I think we owe the Chamber a big hand of applause for all that they do for our particular community. And I would be remiss also if we didn't mention the fact that Dale and his staff, they absolutely create miracles. And so let's give them applause also. Okay, now I'll go back on script. Interestingly, this year's honoree is certainly an excellent addition to this esteemed community of leaders. And we want to acknowledge the gentlemen that are all sitting here on the stage tonight for having been past recipients. Interestingly, this year's honoree could once be seen doing ballet. That's interesting. In fact, this year's nominee would have been seen dancing a few times throughout their lifetime. In addition to dancing, this year's honoree and nominee definitely likes physical fitness and has participated in sports in some very interesting ways. Perhaps you didn't know that this year's winner was a swimmer, water polo player, handball, several other things, and even tried a little bit of fencing. Additionally, their involvement in sports helped start some of the most prestigious games in the state of Wyoming, which is known as the Cowboy State Games. Originally from Nebraska, and our honoree went to the school with the big N for knowledge on their helmet. I want you to know that was the hardest line I had to read because I am a native Nebraskan. Sorry, go big breath. In fact, the recipient not only graduated from college, but continued their education, ended up working in the healthcare field for their career. This year's honoree has donated a lot of time to the community service. Projects like the depot, splash pad, a lot of development projects have the fingerprint of this year's nominee right on them. Factually, our community has been shaped for at least 2 decades because of the leadership of this particular individual. When COVID struck, your chamber convened leaders constantly to help write state and federal legislation to leverage and provide resources to healthcare providers, to help the military deal with the disease, and to make sure our community members were cared for. This year's winner was an important part of those efforts. Many of you here tonight have been up close and personal with this particular individual. In fact, when you spent time with him, it was not the finest hour. You might say that it was a real pain in the mouth. I know everyone is actually anxiously waiting for the announcement, and so without further ado, this year's nominee is a longtime community leader, city councilman, a Nebraska native in southeast Nebraska, my dentist, probably your dentist as well. Please join me in recognizing and welcoming this year's Person of the Year, Dr. Mark Rennie. Let us just allow Dr. Rennie, some of us also know him as Mark, and a good southeast Nebraska folk, just welcome him to the stage and let him have a few words.
Linda, thank you for the introduction. Wow, this is harder than I thought it was going to be. When I first moved to Cheyenne, I looked at it and I thought, I was excited to be here, but I thought, why aren't we doing more with parks? Why aren't we building greenways? Why are we allowing businesses to do asphalt from the street up to the their building, up to their business? And so I thought, well, if you're going to change it, jump in and do something. So I ran for council. Fortunately got elected, and it seems like I've been there forever. I'm sure a lot of you think that. Because I love this job, and I keep running again and again and again. But what I always viewed our job on council to be, I always looked at like Leeds has done a great job of getting people to come look at Cheyenne. The Chamber has done a great job of getting people to come look at Cheyenne and trying to attract businesses here. But I always thought that we kind of, even though Leeds and the Chamber were doing an excellent job, the city on their part wasn't, because a lot of times people would arrive, a CEO would come to Cheyenne thinking, okay, they've got low taxes, they've got 2 interstates, two railroads, this looks like a great location, and they get here and they think, I don't know if I want to live here, or sometimes more importantly, their wife would say, we don't want to live here. And so we oftentimes lost out on a lot of businesses, so my view, I was always been a quality of life candidate, and I always pushed for improved trying to make Cheyenne an easier sell by the way of making it more attractive, a better place to live. And I thought if we do that, it makes it an easier sell for Leeds and for the chamber to attract more business and more jobs. And I think over the years, I've seen a great improvement. I think we've done really well, and with this administration, this council, we're really progressive, and we've got things going well. And I agree with Dallas when you said the best is yet to come. I firmly believe that. And we should all be proud of the achievements that Cheyenne's had and where we're going. And I want to conclude by saying that for those of you that have served in public office, or an elected office, or in the public eye, and I know, Larry, you've been up here at times, we put in a lot of time. I know there's some of you in the audience too. You guys put in a lot of time, and you put in a lot of effort, and most of the time, that doesn't go recognized. And when it does go recognized, it's not always the kind of recognition we want. But I have to say, this is a great honor. I sincerely appreciate it. Thank you very much.
We're getting close to the end, I promise. We have something kind of special we want to do tonight, though. There is somebody who has been around our chamber orbit for a long, long time that is, in our opinion, a very special person. As a matter of fact, I would say that she has exhibited leadership and encouraged leadership everywhere she goes. And I'm talking about a lady named Bobby Barrasso, Senator Barrasso's wife. For those of you who know Bobby, you know that she's faced some difficulties in recent times, and when you ran across her, she was always the lady with a smile on her face, right? Since I've been here in Cheyenne, she'd always tell John, hey, you need to go to that. You need to support those communities. And so we want to do something from the Chamber of Commerce in Cheyenne. We're starting the Bobby Barrasso Leadership Scholarship. We are going to do a couple of things with that. Number one, we're going to give 4 scholarships away to our own leadership program every year for somebody who needs to be in it and needs to grow with their community but can't quite afford to do it. Secondly, we're going to raise a fund to offer our graduates of Leadership Cheyenne the chance to go on and go to Leadership Wyoming to be not only a leader in Cheyenne, but to also lead this state. I am so grateful for the example that Bobby and John have set for us, and we need to leverage that example and move our community and our state forward. Please join me in a round of applause. She couldn't be here, but we need to recognize her for her excellent leadership in this state. The last thing I'd like to share with you tonight is that I was sitting this week, this is my 16th year in Cheyenne. Some of you are clapping, some of you are, but either way, I would tell you that this is a marvelous community. And the reason it's marvelous is because of you, because of your willingness to put your hand to the plow and work for this community. And our chamber is phenomenal. We are recognized again and again on a national level. And we do that because I have a wonderful staff. And I am pleased with every one of them. You know, you go to chambers, they hire all of this done. They hire somebody to come in and do. We're here chopping flowers, making videos, doing the things we need to do to make our future a success. So I know that some of them are behind the stage, but please give them a round of applause for the wonderful work that they do. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention that I'm getting ready to lose an employee that is dear to my heart. She has been a part of the chamber and an inspiration, I think, to many, many of you and your businesses. And I'm twisting her arm to stay and help us for another month. But she has a calling, I think, to go and work with children, and she's in a place of her life that she can do that. But Mary Jane, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize Mary Jane Strickland, and you are going to stand up and give her a round of applause for the wonderful work that she has done for our community. I know that Bill has always drug you down, but you know. You're not even sitting by her. I was trying to look up there. And but thank you, Mary Jane, for all the wonderful work that you have done. In closing, I would just like to leave you with this. Cheyenne, it's time to go back to work. We paused and celebrated and thanked individuals for what they do, but what you have always done best is work. Work for a better community, work for the future of your children. You have truly been willing to do what it takes to make Cheyenne a better place to live, work, and do business. And our best times are ahead of us. Don't read the newspapers, don't get on the internet. The best times are ahead of us, and it's because we are willing to give to our community. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for this celebration, and please congratulate those winners. Have a good evening and a good weekend.